Welcome back to the course Introduction to Capella. And in this section of the course, we're going to talk about EPBS, Introduction to EPBS, which means End Product Breakdown Structure. In this portion of the course, we're going to learn about the capabilities and activities that are done during this phase. During this phase, you define the system prime and contractor figured items. Those are items that are the highest part of the system. It kind of defines the whole system and the components of it. Then we define a breakdown of those prime items. By a breakdown, it means breaking them up into the parts that basically build those items. So now we're going to a very physical phase of the system where we're actually thinking almost about how to assemble and build the product. Next, we define the COTS, which means commercial off-the-shelf items, and the not developed items. In some cases, you may not have to develop anything. You may just be able to go buy it, in other words, from someone. And then finally, the last part is we create the end product breakdown structure from basically defining all these things. So the process essentially goes like this. We have an activity, and each one I'm going to perform the activity with the EAB diagram of where you actually create the object, and then we basically do the linking of the object in the CIBD diagram, where you actually link the configuration items to the physical architecture. There's a little mistake here. That should say CIBD. And we'll walk through the steps for doing that. And we basically define, and then we go through the linking process, and then eventually you can go and view things in the CIBD when everything's completed, and you'll actually start viewing it during this linking phase. What the process looks like, I'll switch slides here. So here's the EPBS. We basically started with this idea of this physical architecture, and then we're going to go into this view here and actually do a box-in-box based view like we've done before of defining what's the highest level configured items, and we start inserting other configured items inside of those. And then when we do the mapping, you'll start seeing these physical objects start showing up in here. And the mapping is actually done from a view that looks like this. So we'll walk through some examples, take a look at some existing things as we do this, as we go through the exercise, and you'll get a better understanding of how this all kind of works together.